Welcome into the form. This week it's the North Island that takes centre stage with our domestic racing. We're heading up north to Ruakaka, and of course the other meeting we look forward to on Saturday is out of Hawera. So to talk about all of the action, we've got the usual crew back in from last week. We've got Jane Ivell joining us again, Aidan Rodley and Leith Innes. And let's have a look at the agenda. First off, we'll be starting up north at Ruakaka. We've got the feature on the program, the North Pine Waipu Cup, one of our main focuses there. Then we're heading to Hawera, having a look at the Open 1200 and the mile. Our racetrack is as usual. Then it's Jumps Day at windy Woodville, of course, the Hawke's Bay Steeple and hurdles to look forward to, and our best bets to round out the show. We head up north again to Ruakaka this weekend, and of course Leith, it's usually known as the winterless north, but with that heavy rain coming at the moment, I don't think it may be that on Saturday.
No, certainly, Pip. Obviously it looks like about another 20 odd mils of rain coming on Friday, so look, the rail was out 8 metres. Last time it was out in the true position, and it was sort of played a little bit really on the inside. It was hard to make ground out wide, so with that rail out 8 metres, the horses should be given their chance to run home from the back.
Okay, that's what we want to hear as we take a look at the feature. Of course, we look forward to the Waipu Cup. This is race number 6 on the program, where it's only a small betting affair, but plenty in the market here, including your favourite, An Illicit Dreams at $4, joint with Keegan. You've also got Mercurial, who's slightly been backed in the market already at $4.40, now alongside St. Bathans at that quote. So that's how the market is shaping up. Again, let's take you back here to Ruakaka, where a handful of them come out of the race, and Aidan, Illicit Dreams, Jasmine was keen to lead this day, and she draws softly to do so again.
Yeah, as Leith said, there was a big advantage to being on speed, so it was good to see her go forward. I thought she was a leader here again. I don't share Leith's confidence that we're going to see a big change in patterns just because the rail's out, but we'll see. St. Bathans a little bit unlucky, just got squeezed up at a key point, but yeah, Illicit Dreams for me could be very hard to beat again. Yeah,
certainly looks the natural leader in the race. Mercurial with the blinkers on this week could be a big improver. St. Bathans, he got knocked over. He probably should have ran second, maybe third. Reward Smile was really good. Ace Lawson Carroll on this week gets down to 53 kilos as well, and he ran the best sectional 200 metres in the race as well.
Illicit Dreams looks pretty hard to beat on its home track. Hasn't finished out of the first 3 since lining up there. But look, there's a couple of last start winners in the race. Keegan is one of those, and he comes out of a last start effort on the synthetic, a race that rated quite highly. The pace was on. He sort of got buried midfield, and I thought he showed a really nice turn of foot in the home straight. So blinkers go on, and he steps into open company for the first time. I thought one to consider outside of the favourite.
Yeah, certainly. He goes on all conditions as well, Jane, and obviously his top weight there. He gets down to a nice weight of 54 kilos with Vinnie Colgan, retains the mount as well.
Yeah, it's a big drop, isn't it? 6 kilograms, blinkers go on. There's a lot of upside around Keegan. He's won 4 of 13, like you say. I don't think he's just a poly horse. He'll handle a rain-affected track without too many problems as well. So definitely a contender in the race.
Absolutely is. And one we haven't mentioned yet, of course, is Mercurial. And Aidan did catch up with Stephen Marsh and just asked him how he's going to go this weekend.
Look, he'll jump, he'll put himself right there. I think he'll go well, but he'll just probably need the run a touch. But, you know, these good horses, they can pull out that little bit extra. But he'll go well. As I say, one more and then the spring should be his real go.
Yeah, I think nicely. Smallish sort of field. Again, as I say, blinkers will stay on. Hopefully he can put himself in the race a little bit more than last time. He's going really well. He's sort of, yeah, not been the most straightforward. He's been a little unlucky quite often. But I think it looks a nice race. He'll get his chance again.
He's doing well, given him just a little short freshen since his last run back in distance. Got the addition of blinkers to hopefully sharpen him up, but he's working well.
She's in the twilight of her career now, but shit, those last 2 runs of hers have been outstanding, eh? So yeah, looking at that, you know, you'd think she's definitely a top 3 chance Saturday.
It was a good win last time out at Te Aroha for sure, and obviously real respect around Keegan. But for me, the winner should be coming out of the first day, out of finals day up there at Ruakaka. I am going to go with Illicit Dreams again, just from a map point of view, but do respect what we saw from Reward Smile, who comes in a touch better, and St. Bathans. But Illicit Dreams for me, Leith.
Yeah, certainly that race from 2 weeks ago looks like one of those horses will be the winner. Reward Smile was really good out of the run. But I just thought St. Bethans, I know he hasn't won for over 2 years, but he did run second in the Ritual Mile to Habana. If he brings any of that form, he'll be going close on Saturday.
I'm with Illicit Dream. She's a dual stakes winner. She's got a home track advantage. Barrier 1, I think she'll ping out of the gates and lead the race, control it. Hopefully she can stick on nicely, but she's the one for me in this.
And the locals will love that. That feature gets underway at 3:25 as we now move on to the Open over the 2100 metres, race number 5 on the program. And again, this is an open affair. We do have Bosch, one of the locals in the market at $3.50, Fly My Way at $4, and then Texas on that third line of betting currently at $5s. Let's go back to the two I've mentioned already. Bosch, Texas beats a handful here, including Fly My Way, who had a bit of a hard run, but really, Aiden, Bosch and Pacifico fought this out with just a gun ride from Michael McNabb on Pacifico.
Yeah, Bosch was right there the whole way and fought really well. But outside that, these were the only two from the speed that kicked on. So for mine, it was an evenly run race. For that reason, Bosch comes into this well enough. It's just a really difficult race. Default pick Bosch. There was some nice enough runs from in behind. Texas was excellent and does come in a kilogram better. But geez, Bosch was pretty good this day, Leith.
Yeah, certainly Bosch gets a nice cosy draw, Barrier 2, the home track advantage. I thought Fly My Way was okay, had 60 kilos. Hayley Hassman gets on this week, so gets down to about 57, so has won on the track before as well.
I agree with you, Aidan. I like Bosch. He had the fastest closing 400 metres of the race on that occasion. All 4 of his career wins have been on his home track, so I thought his run was particularly good. Texas come from a long way off them, hit the line really strongly. Looking outside of that to another galloper who has a home track advantage, and that is Richie's Dream from the Kenny Ray stable. He finished second on the track last start, got well back, wide, no cover throughout the running, and I thought, considering it was such a narrow defeat, there was plenty of merit in his run. If he could replicate something similar down in the weights, he may be able to make his presence felt.
Yeah, look, she's a big, strong mare. Obviously, home track advantage is a big plus for her. Even though she's on the minimum, she's only rated at 70. Home track advantage is a good thing up there, but I just don't think she'll be beating Bosch this week.
It wasn't a strong race at Progressive, basically a one-win race. But take nothing away from the performance, because Richie's Dream was very good. It was on pattern. That was the one race of the day where it was a clear swoopers race. So the run still okay, but geez, just fits into this race really nice because it's not a strong race at all. Geez, I want to be against just about all of them here. Bosch becomes a default pick. No confidence at all for me, Leith.
Didn't think I'd see it as Stephen Hunt, no bet, A-Rod. Look, I thought Bosch was a great bet this week. Doesn't have to improve much on its last run. Gets a perfect draw, Vinny on, home track advantage, can win.
Yeah, for all the same reasons, I'm with Bosch as well.
Well, even though Aidan's not confident, everyone is with Bosch, so maybe that gives you some confidence. And again, that completes our look at Ruakaka. Make sure you catch all the build-up from 11 a.m. on Big Saturday with the first race at 12:20. Heading off to Hawera for our other domestic meeting. Jane, as I say hello to you again, weather and track-wise, what are we getting?
Well, the track this morning is currently rated Thursday morning as a heavy 9, the rail in the true position. But I think what is a little bit concerning leading into the weekend is that around the Hawera area, there's some heavy rain warnings for Friday. So from 11 a.m. till midnight, they're expecting a lot of rain in the area and some pretty strong winds as well. So I think that's probably going to have a significant impact on the track come Saturday, expecting to be running on a pretty heavy track.
Yeah, certainly sounds that way, Jane, if that's the case. Well, let's take a look at the first race, but you are definitely looking for that heavy track form here, and there's a few in this that have that. Lazio, your favourite, at $1.95. Then you've got Faravello at that $3.30, and 2 of them at that $6 quote. So outside of Lazio, it's pretty open. And we will take a look at the other runners first in this race. Old Town Road finishing second here, a couple in behind. Jane, who stood out for you?
Well, I think this is probably one of the key form races leading into the small field that's going around at Hawera, and it's the North Island Challenge Stakes. It was won by Sinbin, who came from last, but I thought there was plenty of merit in the run of Old Town Road, who finished second. He sat up outside the leader. The leader's capitulated, and he was sort of left the only horse that really sat on pace that still battled on in the finish. Although beaten a couple of lengths, I thought a pretty good effort. Faravallo was one of those that sat up on speed, and Tavi Court just finished in fourth position. So look, Old Town Road, he looks like he's building towards a win. He's certainly a horse that's adept in heavy track conditions. I think the 1400 metres on Saturday is his real sweet spot as well, and I just thought that last start performance suggests that he's got a win in him very soon.
Yeah, he's going super, and Amber Waddell gets on this week. She gets the 2 kilos off his back. She's had a win on him from 3 rides. Like you said, if it's going to get that real testing sort of heavy track, look, he's an old performer now. He's tough, you know what you're going to get. He never runs a bad race.
Yeah, absolutely. Old Town Road, he does handle those track conditions, and as Jane said, especially in this small field, it was a key form race. Another key form race comes through Lazio, who split a couple of rivals at Wanganui last time out. Faravallo finishing second and Tavi's Court into fourth. Has since been to the trials. This trial is very good. Second quickest time of the day. The quickest time of the day was Testing, who came out and won on Tuesday at Ruakaka, and they were very similar times. Fourth horse in this trial's Free Bell, who's come out and won on race day since. So coming in with excellent form, Leith.
And look, he was down to race last Saturday at Te Rapa, and Transport, he couldn't get there in time. So look, Alan will have him super fit. Obviously his main target's the following week, the Opunaki Cup, but being a small field, second up form's good. Kelly's had a ride on him at the trials. He's going to be awfully hard to beat.
Yeah, I tend to agree. He's the horse that's got a bit of upside, doesn't he? Old Town Road, Charge Bar, they've sort of been there and done that. Both have got good course stats. They'll get through the heavy, but I just think this horse is one that we need to watch through the winter time. He excels on heavy conditions, and as you said, trialled up really nicely. Kelly Myers has had a feel of the horse, and I was a little bit against him at Te Rapa because of the map, but I'm with him this weekend because of the map. I think he can either sit in the trail or the 1-1, and I think tactically it's going to be a really interesting race considering there's only 5 in it. I think he gets the sweet spot in running.
Yeah, obviously it's probably not ideal. He's got to back up again next week, but look, I've talked to Alan Sharrock. He's happy how he's going. Like you said, Jane, he should just posse just in behind them, and being a small field, he's not going to be too far off them, and he should be winning this week.
Yeah, I agree, guys. Terrific strike rate. He'll be an improver off that first up run, so yeah, I'm with Lazio as well.
Okay, everybody, in agreement there of the Open 12. Now let's jump to the Open Mile, race number 5 on the program, and this one sponsored by Scott Roberts at Metcalfe Real Estate. Shanti Lace favourite at $3.20 from Yuranui at $4, Benefactor at $5.50, along with Wheel It In. So again, we're getting an open affair as we take you back to one of the key lead-ins. Shanti Lace finishes second here, beating Chase, and again, this was on that heavy Trentham surface, Jane.
Yeah, the white handicap, it was another good run from Shanti Lace. Does tend to get back in the field and therefore probably relies on a little bit of luck and a little bit of tempo in running. Did have the second fastest closing sectionals behind the winner on this occasion. Needs a bit of pace on, as I said, considering it comes off the speed, but can win quite deep into a racing preparation. This will be the horse's 8th run of the prep, and look, he does look like he's close again to picking up another win.
Yeah, she's going super, and obviously Bruno was having his first ride on the mare. She's been tough. She's been up since she was a 2-year-old. This is start number 41, and certainly think she's well placed at the handicap this week.
Yeah, I tend to agree, guys. And obviously the run of Chase had merit as well. So just interesting to see how that form sort of correlates against others. We know Uranui is a good horse. Benefactor was really good the other day. So let's go and take that win in. And I just really like what we've seen from Benefactor here. It was up in grade. The second horse home was Pride of Aspen, who just destroyed them at Otaki on Tuesday. So that really franked the form, Leith.
Yeah, certainly it's good form. The horse was good here. Kate's got a good record with the horse as well, and look, goes into this prep. It's going in 4th up, and that's what you want coming Saturday on that really heavy testing track at Hawera as well.
Yeah, I like the fact that this particular mare profiles really well coming into this. She's been a winner fourth up twice previously in her career. Kate Hercock's got a super record on the mare as well, and again from a speed map point of view, I think the fact that there's a little bit of speed outside of her from the barrier means that she can probably come across, whereas some of those key rivals are going to get back in running. So look, I'm with Benefactor here.
Yeah, I'm off Chantelli Lace. Bruno's had that one ride, and it's, you know, she's a little bit tricky to ride sometimes, so I think that'll be a learning curve for him. From barrier 3, she's going to get a nice run in the play.
Yeah, for me, 3 lengths are the margin between Benefactor and Pride of Aspen last time out. Pride of Aspen's come out and won by 1 3/4 and almost 7 lengths back to third on Tuesday. It's a really good form recommendation. It is up in grade, but I think Benefactor's just a sense of timing, Pip.
You're talking me in, Aidan, and that does complete our look at Hawera. If you want to catch all the action, of course, the build-up from 11 a.m. on Big Saturday. Time for our race trackers. Make sure you note these ones down. Leith, we always start with you. Who have you found?
Yeah, I found a horse called Sweet As Me, Pip. Raced at Rotorua last Wednesday, and it gave them a decent old donkey licking. What you don't see here is it missed a kick by 5 lengths and took off mid-race. The race was set up a little bit. They went quite hard in front, but I know there's some big punts landed with the Ray Fleming stable, and look, this horse is down to run next Saturday at Rotorua in a rating 65 1400 metres, home track advantage, and it doesn't have to improve much to win off this.
It was a super performance. There's no two ways about it. Just got to weigh up just that Wednesday company up to Saturday company, but you couldn't have asked for a more impressive debut. I've gone for Charmer here. I was really taken by what we saw. It was a race where those on speed had a decent advantage, but I thought Charmer, who came home the quickest last 8, 6 and 4, second quickest last 200, was excellent. Only just misses out and behind a couple of handy ones, so I'd be following Charmer next time.
I'm looking at a horse that went round at Otaki on Tuesday, and that's the Alan Sharrock trained Ina Sharples. Has been really well supported in 2 race day outings to date and has been bridesmaid on both occasions. But I think picking up a maiden quickly should be pretty easy for this particular horse. And look, I know the Coronation Street fans out there will be hoping that it can get its nose down on the line sometime soon, because as I said, it's had plenty of support in both race day outings.
Yeah, they certainly will be. And I'm taking you back to the synthetic at Awapuni. This is last Friday. Mossraj comes from right off the pace here over the 1400 metres, second up, and absolutely flies home underneath the Mediata Hudson. Had the best closing sectionals. A horse that's obviously got much better form over further, and I think third up he probably will be stepping up and trip. But as you know, hard to make up ground at the moment at Awapuni. It's been a front runner's track and really caught the eye here last Friday. So I'll be sticking with Mossraj in the Central Districts. Let's have a look at a summary if you want to pop them in your race trackers or the black book or whatever you use. Lethal with Sweet As Me, Aidan with Charmer, and a Sharples there for Jane, and I'm with Mossraj. It's Hawke's Bay Hurdle Day out of Woodville on Sunday, so plenty to look forward to. And Jane, it's that time of the year. It looks like the jumpers will be slogging it out on that wet conditions.
Yeah, looking forward to Woodville on Sunday. It's going to be a big day for the jumps community here in New Zealand. They will be running on a heavy surface. The rail is out 2 metres from the mile to the 1200 true in the remainder, but there's a little bit of rain around in the area Friday and Saturday, not a significant amount, and it actually looks like we're going to be racing with a little bit of sunshine on Sunday. So fingers crossed that the weather forecast is correct and we'll have a nice day for racing at Woodville on Sunday.
Yeah, and hopefully heaps of the locals can get out and catch some good jumps action. We will start with the feature for the hurdles, the race number 3 on the program, and you can see it's a really good field that's come up here with the likes of Berry the Cash, Lord Spencer in the race, of course the in-form runner and Squire, Tykers in there just to name a few. And speaking of, we'll go back here to Squire Jane, of course back-to-back hurdle wins, including this open one at Te Rapa.
Well, he's really taken to the next part of his career, hasn't he, Squire? Unbeaten over the hurdles. He picked up his maiden back on the 14th of June and then was super at Te Rapa back on the 5th of July. Of course, does have to back up this Saturday, but he looks like a up-and-coming hurdler that we can certainly follow with a bit of confidence, considering how dominant he was in this event.
Yeah, certainly. He actually improved from his jumping from his first race they started at Te Rapa, and he drew away there. I know it was only a not as strong as field that he's going to meet this week, but he's just jumping so good. Only being a young horse, he gets in with 66 kilos. And you'd think the extra 200 metres is really going to suit him as well.
Absolutely. He goes into this now unbeaten. And as you say, Leith, he's only 4. Just imagine what he's going to be doing at 8 and 9, when he comes into true maturity as a jumper. He's a really exciting prospect, Squire. It is a big jump up. He was beating sort of one-win hurdlers last time out and now takes on Hawke's Bay hurdles. So that's the query. Lord Spencer's a really interesting runner. Of course, a horse whose best form is over 4 kilometres and further. He came from an unwinnable position. How does he win this at Te Aroha last time out, especially over 3,100? He does drop back to 3,000 metres, which might be a little bit of a concern, but it's just around the timing and getting him going because he's capable of unleashing a finish like this, Leith.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't want to be on anything else bar the horse in front at this stage, and that's at the 100-metre mark, and he's made up 5 lengths. He's actually gone away at the end and he's won pretty easy, so he doesn't have to improve too much to be competitive this week, and Lemmy Douglas sticks as well, so it's a big plus.
He's always thereabouts, isn't he? Not one that you want to leave out of multiples. Bury the Cash is the interesting one going round in the Hawke's Bay hurdles. Of course, we saw him on the flat back at Otaki back on the 8th of July, so it's a quick backup for him into the Hawke's Bay hurdles. He finished 3rd on this occasion. It was his first run since coming back from Warrnambool, where he competed in both the Briley and the Grand Annual Steeplechase. Going back to the hurdles is the reason why I like him coming into this. He only goes up half a kilo from winning the race last year. And I think back over the hurdles, he's had 11 runs for 7 wins, and he's had some big wins over the hurdles as well. I think he's the class runner in the race.
Yeah, certainly, and he's got that good flat ability as well, Jane. And like you said, it's a Warrnambool, as you know, it's a little bit tricky to get round, and he had 2 runs there and he was sort of lost a little bit, so definitely back this Sunday at Woodville, he's got to be a top 3 chance.
You spoke about that Hawke's Bay hurdle last year. He was only a nose in front of Tiger under a big weight, 73 kilograms. It's never easy, but he has just got such a good record. He's definitely the yardstick on class. Obviously, first up for a hurdle, this preparation may be vulnerable against a field of some really nice up-and-comers, but, geez, he's got to be tough, doesn't he, Bury the Cash?
He really does. It's just that weight, isn't it, Aidan? As we take you back to some connections again, and we'll start with a lady that was giving a little bit of stick to Leith over the weekend too. Jessica Bronson here. We'll talk about Squire, and again, Aidan just asked her what she can expect on Sunday.
I think if we get a top 5, we'll be wrapped. Paul's horses are pretty unbeatable, and there's a couple of good Lord Spencer's back in form. So I think it's really just going to be whoever handles the track is a little bit step up in distance. I think it just depends what the weather does too. It's always heavy there in July at Woodville, but I think it's just going to be whoever handles the track, I think, and everyone's hard fit. Happy Star will probably be the hardest one to beat. So.
He's won it before. He's also won the Sydenham. I think he could be right in it. He raced yesterday. He went a good 3rd, so hopefully he can go good.
And he'd been up here a couple of those jumps trials and things as well, so you know he's going to be ready out of that camp too, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. I rode him. Won the jumps trial to Atarangi, but he's still on the bridle, so.
What about this weekend? What can you expect of him this one?
Look, I think he can be right in it. I mean, there's class hurdlers in it, but he's a class hurdler himself, so he should be right up there.
Yeah, I've got a close eye on Happy Star. I think that he might just need this one. He'll be peaking when he heads down south. So because of that, I've gone with Bury the Cash on top. He's the class hurdler in the race, and hopefully class will get him back-to-back Hawke's Bay hurdle wins. Yeah,
it's certainly probably the best hurdle race we've probably seen for a couple of years, I think. Like you say, Bury the Cash, he's a champion jumper. Going up for the up-and-comer. He's going to be meeting the big boys this week, but Squire, just what he's done in his 2 hurdle races, I think he's up to winning this week.
I agree, Lee. This is a vintage Hawke's Bay hurdles field, really strong. In the end, I've sort of sided with Jane. I've landed on Bury the Cash as well, but real respect around some of those good horses. The up-and-comer Squire, Happy Star and Lord Spencer have got big features to their names too, Taika. So really good race, that one, Pip.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing is do not miss it on Sunday out of Woodville. That's race 3. Now let's move on to the features steeplechase on the program. And again, we see West Coast come back for Mark Olligan, Jacama Crystal, who's been in form as well off the back of a last start win, and then the likes of Locker Winnock as well for the one and only Kevin Myers. So again, we've got a really nice field to look forward to, and we do take you back to Jacama Crystal last time, beating a handful of runners. Jane, how did you assess the effort?
I really liked the effort. I thought she was really dominant in the way that she put the field away on this occasion. What I do like is that I think she's hitting form at the right time. She comes into the race really nice and fit, and having had the benefit of going round the circuit at Woodville, I think is really helpful too. She was a winner there last jump season over the 4,000 metres, beating some of her race rivals again. So I think she's one of the key chances leading into this weekend.
Yeah, and certainly, and as we see on the flat all the time, the mares actually hold their form really well. Look, it was a hard enough run. She's on the quick backup, but she's got the right trainers and sure to be a top 3 chance.
I agree. There was just some sort of effort last week. It's on the quick backup, but she was terrific. It was a race, I don't like to sort of put too much onto patterns in races, especially jumps races. But they were on speed, except for her. She's come from way down the back, put in a couple of really big leaps and taken over. The others have all sort of held position. So really good performance. And Jane spoke about that Woodville run. At Woodville last year, she scored by 9, beating Lock Winnock and the Anarchist, who are race rivals here. I want to take you back to Trentham in the Wellington hurdles, so a different role for Mont Ventoux. But they say this bloke can jump. He can jump the big fences just as well. Really good second in behind Billy Boy. He's got oodles of stamina, Leith, and I think he's a contender even in the bigger fences in the chase.
Yeah, obviously having his first start over the chase fences. He's tough, this horse. He never goes a bad race. He's going to cop the heavy track at Woodville on Sunday. There's something about him. He's had that one jumping trial at Cambridge where he ran second, I think it was. But look, you got to respect him.
Yeah, I thought it was a really brave effort at Trentham last start, and I think given the lineup, and I don't think that we've got a really strong edition of the Hawke's Bay steeplechase, it's probably a really good opportunity to test him over the bigger fences. It's an interesting field, isn't it? Especially when you've got a horse like West Coast in there with perhaps a little bit of a question mark over him.
It certainly is. And one we haven't mentioned, of course, is Smug, who ran third in the Hawke's Bay hurdles last year. Aidan caught up with his trainer, Chris Wood, and just asked him how he assessed the last time's run.
He jumped superbly, the big fences. He took them on and was very bold at his fences, and Michael rated him well. And he was, a clear winner on the day, covering a few more metres than what a lot of the opposition did. And as I say, he's come through it really well, and we'll head in that direction.
His run at Wellington, I thought, was huge in the hurdle race, and the fences there aren't a lot bigger, really, those brush fences. So I think it would suit him. He's run a good trial here of the live ones, just as about 6 or 8 weeks ago. And there's no question he's a good jumper. Got quite a bit of rain coming, and that's going to suit him. And the key will just switch him off a little bit over that longer trip, and I can't see it being a problem for him at all, and I think he'll be quite close.
That's probably one of the weakest fields for a Hawke's Bay. West Coast is in it, but he isn't. This is his first start over the steeples again this year, but he is a class jumper. He's hard to beat, but I think she could be right in it. She's a bit longer, but whether she backs up or not, I think she can be right there.
I don't think we can discount West Coast. If he shows up and he's at his best, he'll be very hard to beat but I'm with Jacama Crystal. I just think that she's a mare coming into this in form. She ticks the box around Woodville, and she's hard to go past in this field.
Yeah, I'm going to go for the horse having its first chase, Mont Ventoux. Look, he's a green jumper. He's going to get conditions to suit. Got to have a lot of respect for West Coast. So he won the race last year, and the year before that was second. So we'd love to see him win, but I just like the horse having his first chase this year.
Yeah, West Coast has been below his best. He just wasn't flashing in that hurdle, and then he's had a run on the flat, which wasn't great. But we know he's going to be right when it matters. That's going to be Grand National steeplechase time when he's going to look for his 4th in a row. And hopefully he's bang on for that. Just want to see him doing something this weekend. However, I'm going to settle on Jacama Crystal. I thought super last time out. Respect around Smug, who was good before being disqualified last time out, Pip.
Okay, like it, Aidan. And again, that completes our look at Woodville. You can catch all the action from 11 a.m. on Sunday with the Sunday sesh. Jane will be on course taking you through the action. Time for our best bets. Look, it wasn't our best weekend last time. Let's hope we can turn that around. Leith, we start with you.
Yeah, I was going to put Lazio on top in the Taranaki Wolfpack set. I'm not allowed to tip their horse. So, look, I'm going to go Sunday this week, Pip. Woodville, race 7, number 2, Kwanzaa. Jonathan Riddell's riding in the highweight. It was good to see him win his 1,000th race at Palmerston North last week. He needs 12 more in New Zealand to get 1,000, so he'll be getting one more on Sunday, hopefully.
I always knew you were a Sunday guy, Leith. I thought, geez, Leith, he's a Sunday guy. I think Sunday's going to really suit you. I'm going to go Judicial, a horse who was a really short price favourite on New Zealand debut last time out. This trial, fantastic on Tuesday at Te Awamutu. I think ready to win the 4th at Ruakaka.
Might come as a surprise, Leith. No one has muzzled me just yet, so I am going to tip the new Plymouth galloper in Lazio. I just think he's a galloper that comes into this with plenty of upside. He's got a great record. He'll love the wet track, and I think he maps really well on Saturday.
And I'm hoping he won't have too much weight because he's carrying both of us, Jane, on with him as well, Lazio. So Alan being okay with us girls, we can have him as the best bet and hopefully he rolls home there. I think he's paying, around $1.95, and that price may hold up too with the small field. So that's what we're liking as our best bets. Summary, of course, here, Aidan with Judicial, Jane and I with Lazio, and Leith is Kwanzaa. And from there, that's us for the week on the form. As always, thanks to Jane, Aidan and Leith for all of their input. Enjoy the weekend, enjoy the hurdles and steeples on Sunday. We'll catch you back next week.